This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests today are both for Habitat for Humanity. I have Nikki Keys and Colin Bruning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Nikki, you're new to Alpena and you are the manager of Habitat for Humanity Restore, correct?
Correct.
Yay. And Nikki, I guess what I want to tell people is if you haven't been to Habitat for Humanity Restore recently, go. The store is beautiful.
Lots of improvements recently, both cosmetically and just where items are located, the items that we have in. Summertime is great for donations, especially some really nice ones have come in. We have carpet right now, which doesn't happen very often. New carpet that was donated.
Wow.
And then we also have our Rethink, the consignment shop. That's pretty packed out right now, and it's got a lot of really nice stuff. So.
And Colin, what I always like to tell people is when you go to the Restore, if you see something you want, take it. Do not wait, correct?
Yeah. Things can move fast. Like the nature of the store that we have, we got a lot of donations and we want to keep things moving. And part of that's with the amount of storage that we have. It can be limited, so things can move over fast, the turnover there.
And you know, the important thing about the Restore is the money goes to help new projects with Habitat for Humanity. Where are we with projects at Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, so projects, it's pretty exciting. We're just finishing up a house on Long Lake Avenue right now. It's about 90% done. And right now we have a partner family with that house.
Okay.
And the other house that we're working on right now is on Spratt Street, 115 East Spratt Street. And we're working on it right now as we speak with a group called the RV Caravanners.
Oh, I know years ago I used to be a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, and people would come and bring us drinks, and people would bring us lunch, and people would bring us cookies while we were working on the houses. And volunteers are a vital, important part of your organization.
They really are. They're like the fuel, is the way I put it. You know, we have the machine, we have everything ready to go, but without the fuel, without the volunteers, it really wouldn't happen. And so not only do we need them, but we really value them, and I think the volunteers also really value what they do when they come on and they learn, they meet people, they gain new skills, or for other people, they may put into practice the skills that they already have and teach younger people or something.
Or learn skills. I know when I did, I built trusses and I put on siding, you know, it's things I hadn't done in the past, but you know, with someone showing me what to do, it was really fun. Plus, every time I drive by that house, I go, hey, I put some of those trusses up. Hey, I put that piece of siding on. So it's pretty unique. So how does someone become a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity?
That's a good question. It's really simple, really. You can come into the Restore at 400 West Chisholm Street, or you can come into the office at 1600 West Chisholm. And we'll just give you a brief orientation really about what Habitat for Humanity is, its mission, and also just fill out some brief paperwork and get you plugged into what maybe they would have in mind to volunteer.
And there's so many different things. You can work in the office, you can do fundraising, you can work at the store. Just so many different things that you can do. If you have an hour a week, Habitat for Humanity would love to have you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Back to the Restore again.
Okay.
So people come in, what are your store hours?
We are open from 10 until 5 on weekdays. And so that's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 10 o'clock until 3.
Okay.
Mondays, we're open during the summer, so Memorial Day through Labor Day.
All right.
With those same weekday hours at 10 to 5.
So we want to tell people if you have donations, just pull up to the door, go inside and say, hey, I've got something, and you'll let them know if it's something you take or not. And we ask people, please do not come when they're not open and put donations outside the door.
Please don't.
If it's not something that you need, then you have to pay to dispose of it. So they've totally defeated the purpose of the Restore. And what about deconstruction? If someone says, hey, I've got some beautiful doors in my house, I'm going to get new doors, will you folks come and get those doors?
We do, actually. We do pick up donations of construction materials, of furniture, what we call small, so like dishes or things that would go into a home, into a house. And those items we're able to pick up in the local area, so we're talking Alpena, Presqu'Île, Ossining, Hillman areas, and then we bring them right to the Restore and price them up for you.
Okay, and what about appliances?
We do take appliances. They're actually always in high demand.
Okay.
If we get a refrigerator in, this week we got a refrigerator. We put it on the floor. 25 minutes later, it was gone. So any appliances we greatly appreciate in working order. We don't have anyone on staff to fix an item. People often will bring us items like, well, it doesn't really work, but maybe there's a project, and those items we prefer not to take just because we don't have the time or the skill sets to fix
Certainly.
them. But
Yeah, don't bring us your junk. Bring us your
Yes.
stuff that you would want to buy somewhere or have in your store. Now, you folks have an open house coming up for a new product line. Tell me about that.
Pretty excited. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, Urban Leaf Lumber. It's reclaimed urban timber, so when an electrical company comes through and has to clear cut an area, this band of guys will come in, they'll pick up the timber, cut it, dry it, and then they give it to the restores
Wow.
to sell on consignment so that they can make their money back, and then we get to make a percentage off of that as well. It is beautiful. There's slabs, there's actual dimensional
live edges.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I wish I would have brought a piece to show you. But we're going to have an open house for them. So the lumberjacks
Okay.
are going to come up on Monday, August 28th,
Okay.
from noon until 5.
Okay.
And they're going to demonstrate their bandsaw for us. We had a chestnut tree donated. And so they're going to demonstrate all of their cutting techniques, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about what the product is, how it's helping both the environment and Habitat for Humanity. And we'll have a few extra games and some food and some fun time. So
Okay, wonderful. Help spread the word. So Colin, back to volunteers for a moment. So if someone says, hey, you don't have any building skills, I really don't want to work in an office, they could make cookies, they could help fix lunch, they could help recruit some other volunteers. There's so many ways that people can help. Sometimes people think if they don't have money and tons of time that they're really not going to be helpful to an organization. But that's not the case, is it?
That's true. You're right. It's not the case. And I think a lot of it is taking that first step and just beginning engaging. And it might be a conversation with me in the office and, you know, what's maybe brought this interest, you know, up. And you will find, you know, a niche. I absolutely believe that. And one of the other things, you brought up a good point. Sometimes for volunteering, even recruiting volunteers or, you know, getting other people involved can in itself be a good use of being a
Yes.
volunteer. I really
If you're in
think
a
so.
church group, a youth group, or some kind of an organization and you're looking for
Oh,
a
yeah.
project, remember Habitat is your project.
Absolutely.
Okay, phone
Yes.
numbers for someone to
Yes.
call if they have any information or any questions.
Oh, yeah, the Restore and the office have the same number.
Mm-hmm.
It's 989-354-5555.
Okay, and best way to reach both of you is either just drop in at the Restore or stop in at the offices on Chisholm
Yes.
Street, US 23 North. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll definitely be at the open house.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. I'll be right back following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Stephanie Gandula from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
Summer's winding to a close, but things certainly aren't winding to a close at the Marine Sanctuary. You had a wonderful research project going on. How's that doing?
It's great. We just wrapped up a 4-phase research project this year. And, you know, people forget there's still shipwrecks out there. So we're always finding ways to look for shipwrecks. And this research project this year was a grant we got from the NOAA's Office of Ocean and Research Exploration. So that's what they're all about, is going out there and cutting edge science and different research that's happening throughout NOAA departments. And Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary got this grant to go out and look for shipwrecks, like I said, but this time we're using different technologies, partnering with different agencies and institutions, and to see how fast we can go out and explore and then turn around and go out and document what we might find. And-
So have you found some new ones?
Well, we did find some targets that there's sinkholes out there. So what the technology that we're using is remote sensing for the
Okay.
most part, right? So using sound to map the seafloor. And so the data that we get back is a whole bunch of data that we have to then analyze to see what it is.
So it's not like a quick turnaround.
It's not like a quick turnaround, exactly, but faster than ever before. And we're able to now take a look at this data and see what sites we'd like to go back to and see if they are indeed a shipwreck, if it's an anomaly, maybe a big boulder on the bottom of the lake floor. But to back up a little bit, our first phase of the research project was using unmanned aerial systems, so
Okay.
drones.
Drones.
Yes, and of some, we had some partners come out from California, some NOAA drone pilots came out, so
Okay.
it's very, very highly skilled folks came out to help us look for shipwrecks in the shallow areas where our research vessels really can't get. And these are areas that are known for shipwrecks because they are so shallow.
correct.
Right? And So we spent a lot of time, the first phase, going out and just scouring those shallow areas and getting some amazing footage. And this footage can then be added to our database, and we can look back and compare it with imagery from past research projects and see what's changed. It's such a dynamic area, those shallow waters. So then the second phase was partnering with the University of Delaware to use a sonar system, so painting the lake floor with sound, sending out these sound waves. How the sound waves come back then paints a picture of what the lake floor looks like. And so that way we were able to really take a look at the deeper water. So we were looking at very, very shallow and very, very deep, where we haven't had opportunities to look before. And we do estimate, as you've heard before, we've identified 97 shipwrecks. We estimate that there's at least another 100 out there.
Oh, it's amazing. I think I've told you before, I've seen those maps of like Rogers City down. It shows where all the different ships and shipwrecks. It's like how they're touching each other. There's so many of them. It's amazing.
Right, right. And I mean, this was it is such a busy waterway.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind people, like, even though we might look out at the beautiful bay and look out at Lake Huron and maybe see one or two freighters, it still is such a busy waterway and such a vital part of the global economy. It's just that one big freighter can haul today maybe took 200 schooners back in the 1870s and 80s.
And I read the Detroit Free Press almost every day, and I'm always amazed that I'll see how many shipwrecks are being found.
Right.
The Detroit River and Lake Huron and Lake Erie and all the Great Lakes, and they've been there for hundreds of years, and now they're just being found, and probably through research like you're talking about.
That's right. I mean, with the new technologies and how it advances so quickly, I mean, we're able to see places we never could see before, and we're able to characterize and analyze these sites much faster than before. I mean, there still is the traditional archaeological method of mapping a site and measuring every timber, and we still like to do that, of course, but it's not necessarily necessary anymore because of the technology that allows us to take a number of images and turn it into a 3D model.
Wow.
That we can then bring these sites back to the people who can't dive to 300 to 400 feet. We can make those beautiful panoramic images of these sites, and that are archaeologically valid for measuring and for learning more about the shipwreck sites and about the full story.
And if that didn't keep you busy enough, USA has announced that we're one of the top, how many?
There's 20 up for in the voting process right now, 20 Michigan attractions.
Okay.
And right now we're number 7. I'm hoping to be number 1 top Michigan attraction.
And we can vote every day.
You can vote every day until August 28th. And so this is USA Today's top 10. They do top 10 on everything, right? And so top 10 best place to visit in every state, top 10 national parks. And so we're really excited to be to be a contender in this top 10 Michigan attraction.
So how do we find out how to vote?
So go to the USA Today 10 best.
Okay.
Just Google USA Today 10 best and throw in Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. You can also go to the Alpena Shipwreck Tours Facebook page.
Okay.
And the link is right on there. And yes, vote every day for sure.
And mentioning Alpena Shipwreck Tours, extremely busy year this year.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just left the office, and I mean, we got those 3 cruises a day going in July and August, and they are nearly full, every single cruise, 10, 1, and 4, full of people.
Wow.
Going out to learn about the shipwrecks, to learn about the beautiful shorelines here in Alpena, and people are coming from all over to go out on the Lady Michigan. It's just so rewarding to go out on the boat and to start talking with the passengers and see where they're from and what brought them here and the wonderful time they're having in the area.
Okay, and so if anyone's interested in being a volunteer, there's same as with our last guest, there's so many different things you can do. You could work in the store, you could work in the office, you could be a docent, you could go on the Lady Michigan once you were trained. There's so many different things that people could do.
That's right.
What's the best way for someone to get in touch with you regarding volunteering?
To just send us an email at thunderbay@noaa.gov.
Okay.
And say you're interested in volunteering. That'll come straight to me
Okay.
then. And volunteering, I mean, we just had our Volunteer of the Year and our Volunteer Appreciation event last week, and that is one of my favorite annual events because it's lots of fun. We get as many volunteers as we can fit out on the glass bottom boat and have some great snacks and go out and cruise the bay. But it's really all about honoring and recognizing the hours that these volunteers put in.
Yes.
I mean, thousands. I think it was almost 8,000 hours in 2016 that volunteers contributed. And I mean, if you think about that, we couldn't do what we do at the sanctuary without those volunteers. I mean, they help us do the summer camps where lots of kids come and are learning to become stewards of the Great Lakes. Like you said, the going out on the glass bottom boat, really being sanctuary ambassadors wherever they can. So the volunteer program is so rewarding and so necessary.
Okay, we're out of time, but
Okay.
next time you come, we'll be talking about the film festival. I'm sure
Oh.
that must be getting ready to go
Yes,
now.
can you believe it?
I know, it's amazing. All right, Stephanie, thank you so very much.
Thanks, Nancy.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guests this morning Megan Cameron, math instructor at ACC, Ashley O'Connor, education technology specialist. Is that close enough?
Yes.
At AMA-ESD. And you two put together a remarkable conference this week, and I just want to credit you on behalf of the education community and hear your thoughts on how it went. So tell the viewers what happened.
Well, we got some really good feedback. We looked at our survey results this morning, and we're very happy to see that everybody really liked it this year. I think it went off without a hitch.
Yes, we had over 134 educators there, and it's nice because it's volunteer professional development to make sure to get ready to go and get fired up for the school year. And we were just so thrilled to have them there with us to share the learning, and it was awesome to have teachers share what they know and what they do in the classroom to support technology and engaging in students for the 21st century learning skills, really.
So the focus of the conference was on technology and how that can be incorporated into the classroom?
Exactly.
Yes, we want to start promoting the 4 C's, which is creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking in schools. And the best part is our districts around here and surrounding districts, we had I think over 7 or 8 districts represented there, are coming together and sharing their knowledge and really getting involved with what technology can do to support students in the classroom.
One of the speakers that I actually went to, it's not about just using technology. The focus was using technology with a purpose. And so that's what I think is really important right now.
And that purpose would be what for a non-educator? How would you define that?
Technology increases student engagement, and then because the students engaged, it also facilitates more learning opportunities. And so utilizing technology in a purposeful manner and not just using it as an additional tool along with the subject, but integrating it within, you're looking at increasing the engagement, working within the curriculum, and also supporting more learning opportunities through digitization.
Really neat. So what were some of the breakout sessions or things that you saw that really spoke to you?
Well, I happened to go to 2 because we were busy with other stuff. But one of the ones I went to was G Suite, just using the wide variety of Google applications in a classroom, and I picked up quite a few things that I actually want to use at home with my kids. Gosh, we had so many. We had 23 breakout sessions throughout the day. So there was a lot of variety.
And there's a variety from coding to G Suite to project-based learning to getting increasing students with bookmarking, online bookmarking, using that. And so there were so many things and so much value to it. It was just great to watch, to share and explore what was available.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, I went through a couple of times. It's an inspiring thing to see. So you had 23 separate breakouts you had to organize and staff.
Plus the 2 keynotes.
Yes, and our keynotes were, and then we also had a makerspace there. And this is the first time makerspace has come to our tech conference. And so it was great to have the teachers explore what's available in makerspace and to kind of partner with the community and to get more making in the area so students can explore and create and then share what they are designing. So that's kind of exciting to see and see what's happening, what we can do with that later.
You know, I've heard that term, and I should know what it means, but I have to admit that I really don't. What is a makerspace?
A makerspace is an area and where a student or anyone really has some tools to build anything they want. For example, in elementary schools, Legos are common, Kiva planks are common. And then as you get into older, you're looking at coding with robots, utilizing circuits.
The 3D printer.
3D printing and things like that.
I saw the 3D printer there, and you know, it looked like intuitively it was on the end of a long row of things that could be put together to make some. So pretty cool, hey?
Yeah, the 3D printing was excellent because you can do things that cost effective. For example, our closing keynote, John Phillips, he was explaining that he created a card holder specific for a student with special needs, and normally those things would cost $50 or $60 online, and he created it for $1, and using design and digital design, so computer automated design, so CAD. And there's other things that can be designed that you can think about. Students can create whatever they want and utilize that in classrooms for even sale in school stores or just to make life simpler.
Yeah, it's great for prototyping.
Yes.
Yeah, and I saw many instructors from Alpena Public Schools, and I have to give a shout out to the Alcona people.
We had well representation from Hillman, Atlanta, Alpena, and Alcona. We also had surrounding districts attend and also present. Our keynote presenter is from Michigan, lived in Illinois, and is heading to Canada. We had a woman present who's from Alberta there. So we were just thrilled that this could come to Northeast Michigan and have well representation of teachers from ranging from all the way to Auguray, to Onaway, to Ann Arbor, to Alberta, to Berrien County. So, I mean, we're just excited. We were excited to have well represented.
Yes. What did the keynote speaker address, the first one?
Well, he was an elementary teacher, and he just showed us all the different ways that he uses technology in his specific classroom, and I think that was really helpful for teachers to see hands-on exactly what he did and to say, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, he shared a story about taking risks and, and why it's important to take risks and why it's okay to fail. And you know, too often we think of failure as a negative thing, but failure to me is opportunity. And so you can always, one of my favorite slogans is always be in beta, because if you are satisfied with what you do now, you can never be better. And so he did a really, really good job by emphasizing that risk-taking is okay, especially in education.
Very good. Always being beta.
Always be in beta.
I have to remember that.
Yes.
That means being in the experimental, trying, striving mode.
Yes. I will probably say I'll never, ever be finished. Ever.
That's the state of being beta, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And we have about a minute left.
Yeah.
Any feedback that you heard from your colleagues that made you feel like, wow, this is really neat, I'm glad we did it? I received several thank you texts and Google Hangouts last night. I also spoke with others from the district saying what a great time they had, and it's just a pleasure to work with ACC and partner with ACC and AMASD to continue this conference and help support teachers integrating technology, because not only does it help our K-12 community, it's supporting them and getting into their adult community college or going to universities, and we want to continue bridging that gap and making sure they're career and college ready ultimately at the end of 12th grade. Ashley, that I couldn't agree more, and that's a wonderful statement. Thank you both for your efforts. I know you had to put a lot into it, and thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.